This time, instead of calling it Galaxy S11, Samsung is going to name its new flagship, Galaxy S20, to welcome the new decade of 2020. The Galaxy S20 will have a 108-megapixel camera, a 120Hz display, and one of the first phones to launch with Snapdragon 865, with 8K video recording capability. The Galaxy S20 is definitely going to surprise a lot of people, thanks to its truly head-turning new features. This is a full preview of the next flagship smartphone from Samsung, that is, the Samsung Galaxy S20. So, let us begin. Looking forward with the Galaxy S20, we're expecting Samsung to stick with that three-phone release, with some changes to the naming scheme. It will be called Galaxy S20, S20 Plus, and S20 Ultra. Samsung changed up the rear camera housing quite a bit. Instead of a horizontal bump in the top center of the phone, we now have a chunky, vertical one, towards far left side. The S20 Ultra appears to have 5 camera sensors, indicating that Samsung is ready to up its photography game. Hands-on images are still pretty scarce, but on December 9th, Samsung tipster, Ice Universe, shared 2 very pixelated, real-world shots of the S20. With the competition really heating up in the smartphone camera department, we wouldn't be surprised to see Samsung make more improvements for the Galaxy S20. Based on the renders and picture of the devices that have appeared so far, it looks like the Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra could have 5 cameras on the rear. The Galaxy S20 Plus might have 4, and the S20 might have 3, based on these early images. Samsung officially unveiled its 108MP ISOCELL camera sensor in August 2019, and it only makes sense for the company to debut this on its first big flagship of the year. The S20 will be one of the first smartphones to support 8K video capture at 30 frames per second. It's been claimed Samsung is working on a periscope-like camera, which allows 5x optical zoom, so perhaps we will see this on the S20 too. In addition to that, there would be a 3D time-of-flight camera and an ultra-wide camera. A report from November 29th mentioned a bright night sensor that should allow for impressive low-light photography. By comparison, the rival iPhone 11 Pro currently features 3 rear cameras, a 12-megapixel main shooter with an additional ultra-wide and 2x telephoto lens. The Samsung Galaxy S20 will likely use the company's own Exynos 990 chip in Europe and some other territories, and Qualcomm's newly announced Snapdragon 865 chip in North America. Both 7nm processors promise performance enhancements over their respective predecessors, and both are sure to be insanely fast. One of the big features of the new processor is the ability to support up to 200-megapixel sensors on a phone. Samsung's Galaxy phones have traditionally been the first new devices to get Qualcomm's latest chips. We also expect to see a battery that supports both wireless and reverse wireless charging. Storage-wise, the Galaxy S20 will offer a range from 128 GB to a whopping 1 TB. Frankly, we don't want to see the price tag on the latter option, but some superpower users might. Rumors have suggested the handset could boast a colossal 6.9-inch screen with a 120Hz refresh rate. If true, such a panel would likely chew through battery life. Since Samsung used Qualcomm's 3D sonic fingerprint sensor in both the S10 and Note 10 phones, the S20 also seems likely to include their upgraded 3D Sonic Max ultrasonic in-display fingerprint sensor, which boasts a 17x larger surface area, leaving enough space to scan 2 fingerprints simultaneously for an optional extra level of security. Samsung's Android skin, known as One UI, will also likely be present. we already have a good idea of what One UI 2.0 looks and works like. A February 18th launch date has been floated for the next flagship. The timing certainly makes sense. Samsung has broken away from MWC and big tech shows in general for its biggest announcements. Doing so puts the spotlight on its own devices and beats the MWC news glut for a few weeks. Standardized 5G seems possible across the board, though that's likely going to mean an even more prohibitively expensive starting price. It's a big jump, especially with a still spotty rollout in many markets. Taking into consideration the usual price increases on Galaxy S handsets between generations, we'd expect to see it cost around $1,000 for the cheapest version, and even more for more memory. Having said that, we're talking about the standard Galaxy S20 Plus here, but the S20, now replacing S10e, might be a cheaper option for buyers who don't have a grand to spend on a smartphone. So, this was the full preview of Samsung Galaxy S20, S20 Plus, and S20 Ultra. Which of the features do you like the most? And are you going to buy one? Please let me know in the comments section below. Thank you for watching this video. Please do hit the like button if you liked it, and for more cool stuff like this, subscribe to Stuffbox and press the bell icon if you haven't. More cool stuff is coming on the channel, just stay tuned. S-Link. Now